Hello everyone, I'm back and I'm here to fix my V4. Okay, so right off the bat, I put new tubes in, I put new power tubes in, and I put new preamp tubes in. They didn't like it, the amp doesn't like them, and so it's making some popping noises and it's humming really bad. Pretty soon I'm going to play some riffs, whatever, do some cleans and do some distortion stuff, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. But yeah, I put in new tubes, didn't like them, and to be honest with you guys, that's not pretty surprising at all. These Ampegs, this one right here doesn't even work, caught on fire, and this one has just been giving me problems ever since I owned it. I've had it just break during shows, even in my own room. It just stops working, makes weird noises, and so this is just a part of maintaining them and making sure they don't make a lot of noise. If you're just playing in your room by yourself, you know, who kind of cares? But if you're recording, you know, trying to make videos or just playing at shows, recording records, whatever, you don't want that. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to fix it. All right. So, yeah, this is my Ampeg. Before we get started with all this stuff, I'd like to tell you guys a little bit of how I got it, all that. So, yeah, I bought this when I was a late teenager, I think 18, 17, 19, somewhere around there. And I knew a guy named Ryan. He sold amps. He sold not like normal amps, he sold old amps, stuff you don't, you know, usually see. And I bought a PV260 off of him. And yeah, I wanted a Fender Bassman 100. And I was like, okay, you know, we probably have that, Ryan. So I went up there and I said, hey, Ryan, I'm looking for one of these. And he didn't have any. And he's like, I don't have that, but I do have this. And I remember he pulled it out. I had a black cabinet with wheels, and I put it on top of that, and we were playing on it, and yeah, it was awesome. Fell in love with it right away. He explained a little bit about it to me, and he was like, dude, this thing's super loud and it's super heavy. And yeah, I wheeled it out, and it was super heavy. He wasn't joking. It was super, super heavy. And yeah, I took it home, was playing on it, and I remember playing it in a big room, putting it way louder than we played it in Ryan's small room, and yeah, it was just unbelievable. Probably one of the most memorable moments of playing music in my life. And it's been really good. I love this amp. It's had a lot of issues. It's stopped working mid-show, mid-recording, just playing in my room. And so yeah, there's a lot of maintenance that goes into it. This is an example of that. And yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, so really quick, these are the settings for my Angry driver. This right here is what I'm using. I'll try and get that better for y'all. There you go, right there. So yeah, these are my settings. It's pretty much just straight up. And yeah, most of the tones are coming straight from the amp. All that stuff you're hearing is just the amp doing it. All right, you guys, so here we are. Here's the Ampeg. So right off the bat, I want to tell you guys how I have this set up. So I have an SM57 on the bottom speaker, and then I have a Beta 87A, I think is what it's called. Yep, Beta 87A on the top speaker. So high low this cab. I have some red backs on the bottom, 2 red backs, and then I want to say I have a cream back and I forget what the other one is, but I'll probably have that for another video. So, but what's most important is the sound that it makes. So, and not the actual guitar coming out. It's this part right here. Check this out. So here's why I needed to fix this. Oh yeah. You could hear it right away. So yeah, that's not supposed to happen, especially that big old pop right in the beginning. That is not what's supposed to happen. And again, these are either new old stock tubes or brand new tubes. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So here we are in the back of the Ampeg V4. First off, we have our power amp section. It's going to be 4 7027A tubes. And then we have right here the preamp section. This gets a little confusing because there's this half right here, and there's actually a whole different set of tubes back here. So, from what I understand, you have a 12AX7 in the back, a 12AX7, a 12DW7, and a 12AU7. Up here, where you guys mostly see the 6K11, a 6CG7, then a 12AX7. So, the preamp is usually where I get a lot of these noises from. Sometimes I've gotten in the power amp section. I really hope not. So these are new tubes. These are from Tube Depot, made from JJ. They're newer, right? I have new old stock tubes. New old stock tubes usually do better in these amps. These amps like them more. Everyone says these ones right here, they don't really work. I mean, in my experience, they don't work. I've had a couple of them not work. Like, they work for a couple days, and then the amp just chews them up, and then, yeah, ends up not working. Same thing with the preamps. And the crazy thing about the preamp section is that preamp tubes should last a lot longer than power tubes even. They should last forever, really. I have a RCA 12AX7, super old, and those tubes, I mean, they go for like, I think last I saw was $200. But anyway, so that still works even from who knows how long that is. So yeah, I mean, they're supposed to last a long time, but these amps just chew up tubes, guys. They just chew them up. So yeah, we're gonna turn the amp on, and then I'll show you guys how to check for microphonic tubes. All right, so let's do some clean stuff. Try some of that. Okay, so yeah, that's clean. Really kind of known for being a clean amp, actually. So this is an old 1973-74 amp, and so yeah, it doesn't really do the gain thing unless you turn it up a lot. But that's why we have the Angry Driver from JHS. So we're going to be using that to get those distorted tones. But let's do a little bit more cleans. I'm also going to show you guys the reverb, because reverb is like one of the best reverbs ever made, in my opinion. So I'll show you guys that too. Yeah, really nice reverb. Obviously, that hum really kind of kills it. So yeah, that's why I hate that sort of stuff. But when you're dealing with old tube amps, that's just kind of what it is, right? But let's go ahead and get into the distortion, because surprisingly, for an old 1973 amp, the distortion, especially when you get the right distortion on this thing, it is unbelievable. It beats, in my opinion, it beats a lot of amps, new amps, old amps. When this amp came out, it was kind of like the first modeling, you know what I mean? Modeling slash this amp can sound like other amps. Like in the manual, I want to say it had like a blackface setting. It had a JCM 800 setting or whatever the Marshall was at the time, maybe a JMP or whatever. And so, yeah, like this was the original, you know, kind of play with it how you will. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and try and do that. I'll show you guys how some of these switches work and all that. And then, yeah, we'll go to the drive. Yeah, it does all sorts of weird stuff. So yeah, let's get to the drive. All right. So when it comes to gain, first off, I want to say the JHS Boss Angry Driver, one of my favorite distortion pedals ever. I haven't really used it as an overdrive, mostly as a kind of crazy distortion. And really, you know, we can go into the distortion thing all day, and I'll probably make a video about it. But for me, right here where it's at, it's kind of like that crazy, like, distortion where this only works on, like, new metal bands. So, like, right now, I would say it has, like, that perfect, let's see, like, Green Day, Linkin Park overdrive. And for some people, you may be going like, what? You know, but you'd be surprised. I mean, check this out. I think it sounds kind of just like that stuff. So, yeah. That's pretty hard to do, not gonna lie. But here, let's just go into the best part of the song. Yeah, that classic 2000s, early 2000s, over the top overdrive. One of my favorite sounds ever. And as I get older, the more I love it. But yeah, so overdrive. I think it's one of the better overdrives. And paired with the amp, it sounds amazing. I'll kind of do a couple other, tonal things. Try and get it to do a couple other things, and yeah, just kind of have you guys here for it. Yeah, pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and fix it now. All right, everyone. So here we go. I have the back plate taken off. I have the speakers plugged in, ohmage set to the right impedance. So now we're going to check if any of these tubes are microphonic. So I have it heating up, and I want to show you guys something real quick. One of my favorite things about tube amps, you can see the lights. So awesome. I love that. So I'll set that back. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to turn it on. I've been warming up the tubes for a little bit now. And got the guitar plugged in, and we're just going to tap on the tubes to see which one's making noise. So let's go ahead and turn it on. Give it some volume. And now we're going to check which one is making noise. So we're just going to tap on each of these. Got a little chopstick. Make sure all of these are plugged in just right. So to be honest with you guys, seems like all of these are okay. So what I'm thinking is something's probably not in correctly. One of them just might not be, just working. Sometimes if they're not microphonic, sometimes they're just not working. So we're going to go ahead and start messing with them. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. I'm going to take some tubes out, and I'm going to turn it back on. Alright guys, so I changed the power tubes back to the new old stock tubes that I had before, so the Sylvanias, and I'm going to see if these do any better. I tried changing a couple, or I tried tapping on a couple of them, you guys saw that, and so we'll see if it's the power tube. So I'm going to turn it back on, and we'll see if that was it. Okay, a lot better. Whole lot better. That is way more better. Okay, so I'm going to tap on it a couple more times. I'm going to see if that's going to help at all with any noises that we're hearing, because it is still a little bit buzzy. So I'd like to get rid of that if we can. So let's turn it up. Way better so far. Way less noisy. Really surprising. Okay. Well, again, it chewed through the power tubes. I'm going to check all of these preamp tubes. I'm going to switch them out. And pretty much what I'm going to do is just put the cleanest in. Alright, so now I've actually changed the preamps and I've pretty much gotten rid of all of that noise. So I was using the rag, I was using, the flashlight. It took me a little bit. It took me a couple tubes changing too, but I think I've got it down. So I'm going to turn it on and I'll show you guys. So way, way better. That's with me not touching my guitar. My guitar is grounded terribly. So, yeah, it's a way better. I bet even with the drive pedal will be not too bad. So I'll tell you guys what I did. I pretty much had to completely redo the preamp section. I had to move tubes around. I even took tubes from the other Ampeg, put some tubes in there, and yeah. It's good for what it is right now. All those tubes that, were making the noise are no longer good unless I want more noise. So that means I'm going to have to order some tubes pretty soon. So we got it all figured out. We're all set to go now, at least for now. So there we have it. The amp has been fixed. The popping is gone. The hum is still there, but nowhere near as bad. This amp will probably have to get serviced pretty soon, and then eventually I'll get to this amp. I actually want to make a video about me fixing this amp. I'm probably gonna have to take it to get it serviced, but I'll make a video of the travel and everything, so that probably won't be till the distant future. But yeah, we'll have that for now. Thank you guys for spending your time with me. Thank you guys for kind of going on the ride with me for this. And yeah, so thank you guys for that. Hopefully you guys had fun along the way, and see you next time.